Hi, One Piece, Drum Island, Me Talk Now, Ooga Booga, Drum Island Part 3, Ooga Booga, Nami Wami, Ooga Booga, reference to last video, Ooga Booga, summary of last video. Aha! Want to get access to my Arabasta review series like, right now? Then become a patron, where you'll get access to my One Piece videos 3 videos in advance, which means Arabasta. So go now, or else I shall call the hounds. So, of course, picking up from where we last left off with Luffy becoming aware of someone he could possibly have join the Straw Hats, and as is customary, Luffy begs and please gets down on his hands and knees. Come on, old lady, you gotta join us. So, while they're having this debate, which Luffy is clearly losing, Chopper, when realizing they're pirates, has a flashback to a man. Who could this man be? Maybe we'll find out soon enough. But the dreaming of a different time ends, as Luffy and Sanji once again hunt the reindeer down, trying to cook them for Nami, which is quite funny though, gruesome once you kind of think about it. Who would want to eat little old Chopper? He's just too cute for that. Though eventually Chopper does make his way back to Nami's room, I assume losing the Dork Squad on the way back, to which Nami thanks him, which she then gets an interesting reply back. He kind of starts dancing and smiling from ear to ear as he tells her he doesn't accept things from humans, while Nami clearly sees how deluded he somewhat is in saying that. I do not think this is just a weird bit of random humor though. I do think this reaction comes from a place of hurt or some kind of drama, if I were to guess. Though despite being in his own shell, his reactions are obvious to read, and when Nami is asked about pirates, she responds with a glowing smile that probably could give you a heart attack. Sure did me. Want to come along? Hell yes! Sign me up! Though it would actually be useful having Chopper along, because those 3 days sitting while Arabasta is at war can be circumvented as long as Chopper is with them, making sure Nami is recovering correctly. Though, once again, Chopper speaks as if he can't live with humans, citing that him being a reindeer is a point of contention. He even tries to reason with Nami as if he's under the assumption that she could hate him for being a reindeer. Though, as Chopper is chased away again, Nami and Kuroha have an interesting discussion. Kuroha says that Nami sure does have the nerve to seduce her reindeer, and Nami, walking right in, slaps that 12-gauge shotgun blasting penis on her table and says, "Do I need permission to seduce him?" Kuroha, however, confirms that, indeed, Chopper has a past trauma ailing him. When Chopper was born, he had a blue nose. Thus, the other reindeer isolated him. Though, when he ate the devil fruit, the human fruit, he was cast out even more. The human he was just a monster, and to his kind, he wasn't normal either. Humans would see him and call him an abominable snowman, firing on him, throwing rocks, doing anything in their power to kill him. Chopper was neither a human, nor was he a reindeer, and he had no one and nowhere to turn to. He truly was alone, cast away by the world, rejected by everyone. So, while Luffy and Sanji's humorous antics are indeed humorous, they have a tinge of darkness to them, and is another reminder of the way people treated him so long ago. And well, Chopper is a poor, pitiful thing. And when Chopper speaks, Luffy and Sanji take notice, and Luffy immediately changes his mind and wants to recruit him, discarding the previous judgments of him being a monster and replacing those feelings behind it with one of admiration and intrigue. Now, instead of being chased as a rejection of who he is, Chopper is chased because who he is valuable to them, though still probably equally as scary either way. Back at Bighorn, Zoro has taken out the last of the pirates, and they begin their search for Dalton, digging up the snow anywhere they think he may be. And just as they find the man, Chopper goes to warn Kuroha that Walpole is back, and even worse, he's just outside their door. As Walpole notices the flag has been changed, out walks Dr. Kuroha, proclaiming she burned the damned thing. We learned here that Kuroha is actually the last of the survivors from the Great Doctor Hunt, which sought to eliminate every doctor on Drum Island that wasn't working in Walpole's castle. Turns out Kuroha turned this castle after he was driven out into a mausoleum for the quack Dr. Hiraluk. And as Luffy comes out to hit Wapol with Gum Gum Bullet, and as they find the body of Dalton under the snow, begins the tale of a quack doctor that gave Chopper his name, Dr. Hiraluk. 6 years earlier, Dr. Hiraluk escapes the scene of a burning building with 50,000 berries. The berries he stole and the scene he caused by setting fire to the house. To say that Hiraluk was well-liked amongst his community would be a little bit of an understatement. He would crash through the chimneys and forcibly demand he treat people, going as far as to shoot people with a tranquilizer if they did not cooperate or try to stop him. He would then use his, as he dubbed it, cure-all to treat his patients, though he truly did all he could for the betterment of them, not even taking money from them. However, his cure-all never worked, and thus was ostracized by people who would rather take on the chance of begging their dictator for help than to receive help from Hiraluk, who did nothing but make their common colds into something much worse. Even Kuroha tells Hiraluk at one point that if it weren't for himself insisting on him being a doctor, so many people wouldn't need to suffer from just a common cold. This is pretty huge, because it implies that it wasn't Wapol who did a lot of damage, and sure he did, but as well Hiraluk, as Kuroha states, hundreds of people suffer because of him. Though still, Hiraluk promises, even if he's the only doctor they hate on this island where there are 21 left, his medicine will be the one to save Drum Kingdom, not destroy it, as Kuroha states. To sum it up, Hiraluk has deluded himself into thinking he is the savior and believes it so much that he can't accept the damage that he's caused to the entire kingdom. Despite everyone hating him, driving him out, ostracizing him, he still keeps going. This is when he comes upon Chopper, who is bleeding out and alone, accepting his life and dying there. Though Chopper refuses the doctor's movements to treat his wound, and neither does Hiraluk, as he strips naked to convince Chopper that he never hurt him and only wants him to heal. And this actually convinces Chopper, who is brought to Hiraluk's home and as he awake, cries, eating bread. Finally, someone helped him, and while a cute, wholesome, and heartwarming moment is the culmination and resolution of Chopper's suffering. The simple act of Hiraluk sleeping in his chair, leaving some bread and milk and or water, I'm colorblind, and giving him his bed to sleep in. These 3 simple acts of common decency for Chopper is something he has never experienced before. So when he finally gets something that he sought for his entire life, he cries, overwhelmed with the emotions of feeling as if he found someone who can be his companion, his friend. Chopper, in a way, is finally home. He's happy, and Oda conveyed that absolutely brilliantly with his art and writing. And while I can see why some may hate the overly animated crying faces, which all seem to be variations on the same thing, I don't know. I think that adds a lot of charm to the drawing. No matter how valid or invalid or fair and unfair these criticisms may seem, it just works. However, it wasn't easy for Chopper to simply accept this kindness either. He still had his doubts. He didn't speak for 3 days because his past experiences taught him if he talked, people found him horrifying because reindeers do not talk. As he's describing this, you can see him looking down as the weight of his sorrow clearly affects him, and all I can think of is, how could anyone treat such a cute little reindeer like him so horribly? But that shows perspective, right? From the other's perspective, this cute little reindeer with a blue nose is a monster that can change forms. But to Chopper, to Hiraluk, and to us, he's an adorable little mitten that deserves only hugs and love. At least that's how I feel. You can share your thoughts in the comments below, if you dare. Though, it turns out that Hiraluk's home may be a tad explosive, or maybe very, as it explodes, sending the two flying from the Drum Mountain into the snowy forests below. Then Hiraluk names the little feller, calls him Chopper. Why Chopper? Because he's a reindeer and a Tanakai, and his antlers are indeed fine, so fine they could chop down a tree. So his name, Tony Chopper. And a fine name it is, dear viewer, because on this faithful night, Hiraluk and Chopper will go down in history as the greatest duo of all time. At least that's what my heart says, because Chopper reacts like the ball of the dance asked him to, well, a dance. Kinda cute, isn't it? This flashback is rather handy all around though, as we learn about Dalton's past as captain of security of Drum Kingdom, and his path to becoming the man he is, or did, I guess, one that would turn his back on Walpole. We see Dalton, who really always cared about the people of Drum Island, when his comrades Kuramarimo and Chess would rather drink and have fun, because to them, that is how kingdoms are supposed to be ran. Walpole rules with his iron fist, which is protecting everyone. It's keeping things in order, at least how that's the bastards sell it. Though in the holy land of Marihois, I guess that's a place we'll learn about in the future, maybe even in Arabasta. Hope I pronounced any of that stuff correctly, by the way. Walpole is formed of a revolutionary dragon. Ah, yes, our good old buddy, Dragon. We saw our first glimpse of this man way back in the Logtown arc. That's right, I learned how to pronounce it. Though Walpole's stubborn, I think I've been told all the time that I'm pronouncing things wrong when I'm clearly pronouncing things right, so who knows really for sure. Though Walpole stubbornly thinks that Drum Kingdom could never succumb to Dragon, which leads to Nefeltari Cobra, the father of Vivi, to call him a fool. Turns out this was the moment Vivi mentioned earlier when she met Walpole, and oh boy did she, because he backhands Vivi after being told off. Of course, Walpole said it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it, I would never. Oh, shut up, you big bitchy bitch, stop lying. And when Igaram is about to go, me, kick his ass, it's actually Vivi, the adorable angel that she is, that says, yeah, no, it's all right. Even Dalton thinks Vivi is amazing after witnessing this whole thing, because she is able to show so much restraint as a little girl that she can control her anger and also control others like Igaram, convincing them that this is all just an accident. Though, with Dalton seeing this only strengthens his feelings against Walpole, as while Vivi, a 10-year-old, can be that mature, Walpole can't even handle his own feelings, striking the daughter of a powerful political figure and, oh, I don't know, a poor defenseless child, nearly getting Drum Kingdom into war. But what is he told? Oh, don't worry about that, Dalton. Politics aren't about feelings, it's about power. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Tell that same line to Walpole. But they won't, because that very line of thinking is never applied to their own. Of course, Dalton would turn on Walpole eventually. They're just a bunch of big crying babies who only care about their own comfort anyway, so, good riddance. Though, when it comes to Chopper and Hirulak, there is also a surprising sense of maturity that comes from the Doctor. He tells Chopper to not judge the people as they are now, not to blame all of them, because the people and their country are sick right now, and it's because of their government. Hirulak, though, believes that he has the cure, and the cure is the tonic that he's making. So he tells Chopper of the story of a man that had an incurable disease that not even the richest and most talented doctors could treat. But when the man was ready to die and he saw cherry blossoms, suddenly he recovered, and every doctor was surprised. He was in perfect health. This wasn't a feat of medical science, but a miracle based on a powerful emotion. So because of this, Hirulak is spurred on, not believing there is no disease that can't be cured, and certainly that is a tall task, but he believes it. He has faith. And that faith is symbolized as the skull and crossbones he flies on his flag and to fight like a pirate. I thought that Hirulak here was really admirable and commendable, while his task he's set himself out to do is at first something almost fantastical and unbelievable. The story he tells of the man being cured may be ridiculous, but still, this is a thing that he believes in. That motivates him to be better. Behind the words, the meaning shines true. Hirulak wants to be the miracle that saves people. He wants to give them hope, give them faith, to make them better, to cure the illness that has plagued Drum Kingdom, Walpole of Tin. Though, fight like a pirate? Chopper doesn't know what a pirate is, and so he describes them as people who fill the sea, which in itself is just a tiny speck in a world beyond imagination. And he would sail those seas. Or rather, Hirulak seemed to want to will into existence the wonder in Chopper to go out and achieve something so great as that. Because who knows? While the people of this island may have rejected him, Chopper may find the people he's looking for out in the sea. Maybe the Straw Hats. If you think about it, they're a bunch of misfits as well. And then there's Usopp. Something interesting happens though. Chopper grows to have a deep attachment to Hirulak. After years of rejection and loneliness, of course Chopper would stick to Hirulak like moss on a log. This surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, seems to annoy Hiraluk, which sort of confused me at first, because Hiraluk said all of these inspirational things to Chopper, and now it seems like he is annoyed by his presence to a certain extent. So, as they head to help more people, they only talk of a mushroom that the 20 doctors are looking for, and then basically just run the rest of them off. After they escape, Hiraluk gives Chopper his hat. It's a present, or rather a peace offering, and the two spend a year adventuring together as they experiment, attempting to cure people. Attempting is a big word there, but really just having fun together. The fun times don't last though, as Hiraluk informs him that his treatment is completed. He's all healed up, and now it's time for him to go. It's time for Hiraluk and Chopper to go their separate ways. And it seems Hiraluk at this point was very eager to make him go on his way. He can't even look Chopper in the face when telling him. I thought while reading this, how could you treat Chopper this way? Why would you make him go on his own now of all times? I mean, you just gave him that hat. You treated him so well. Is he not your first successful patient you treated? There's so many things to think of. And that thought was made even worse as the next panels show the desperation in Chopper's face to get back with Hiraluk, to the point that he would even self-harm so that Hiraluk would be forced to see him. So, he comes down from his drum Rocky and shoots at Chopper, making him run away. And as he does, you see Hiraluk with a pained face, crying. And then you realize he never wanted to do any of that. This broke his heart more than it did Chopper's. But we've come to the end of yet another Drum Island video. It's really weird. Baradier learned how to pronounce that as well, claps for me, and Arlong Park, I was both able to finish in about 3 parts, but with Drum Island, I mean, there's just so much detail that I'm analyzing pretty much everything I'm seeing. In that regard, it's very different from previous review series I've done with other arcs, and honestly, for me at the very least, a welcome change. It's been a lot of fun taking my time to immerse myself into Drum Island, though I do expect things to pick up a little bit. I can't foresee every arc being this detailed. I mean, I was able to cover some arcs in 1 or 2 videos, and that really was the average for the most part for a while. So either way, I'm excited to jump into the next part of Drum Island, and I think we only got about 2 more parts left. So this arc is going to be a 4-part series. I want to say thank you to all of my Patreons. They're listed right here. You're all so beautiful. You help make this content a reality. You help more than you know. You kind of just make sure the wheels keep turning over here at the SeaTactics, and I greatly appreciate that quite a bit. If you're not a patron already, go on over and subscribe, and you can get access to my next 3 One Piece videos. So with that out of the way, thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.